I'm trying to figure out why these landlords out here be wanting 3 times the rent. Like, if I'm making 3 times the rent, sir, I don't need your apartment or your house. I'm gonna actually buy one. That's a lot of money. You got kids coming straight out of school that want to be on their own, and they got to get the best job out here. They can't do Walmart or Target to make 3 times the rent. Like, come on, let's get better.
The reason landlords want 3 times the rent is because we want to make sure that you're successful in being able to pay the rent. A third of your income should be the amount that covers rent. And if you don't have that, you're going to fail. And then the landlord has to pick up the pieces, not to mention all of the damage that most renters cause. This is why 3 times the rent is a bar that's set to determine if you are someone that is a good candidate to lease said property. We're going to give some solutions for you that are renting so that you can understand why it is you might not be able to rent the place that you are wanting to rent. Hi, my name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process. I struggled with watching some of these videos because what I hear in my old ears is a sense of entitlement. Maybe I'm wrong. Just because you want to rent a place does not mean that the owner of said place has to rent it to you.
So hear me out. The landlords are asking for 3 times the rent, but the jobs are not paying so that you can afford 3 times the rent. But the landlords are still going to ask that. You're still going to ask that when the average job is not even paying a livable wage. I'm trying to figure out where is the part where this starts making sense. And I don't give a about the market price of a mother property. Y'all asking for 3 times the rent does not make sense because the average job is not paying their workers 3 times the rent. I'm not talking about the corporate girlies. I'm not talking about the people who are doctors who are in the medical. No. I'm talking about the average job. You work at Ross. You work at Home Depot. You're a waitress. You're a warehouse associate. I'm talking about those people. That is an average person. Why are we asking for 3 times the rent when the jobs don't pay 3 times the rent? This is not making sense. Why is this not capped out? Nobody should be struggling to find affordable rent and they have to just settle for, living in the hood, somewhere where they shooting up, where they doing drugs and they killing people. Like, what do y'all think? Because I think it's ridiculous, honestly.
Well, young lady, I'll tell you what I think. I think that you need to make more money. And to those of you that are listening, that might sound as asinine as she sounds when she comes across as if she's entitled to be able to live where she wants to live because she makes the minimum wage. You see, the answer is there in the title of the salary, minimum. Today, you have to go beyond the minimum. We all do. If you want to live over there and they require a certain amount of monies to live over there, then you have to meet that standard. No one is responsible for you meeting that standard. That is on you. So as I said in the intro, is it just me or do you hear a sense of entitlement, a sense of arrogance in her reaction to why landlords want 3 times the rent? I could be wrong, but I think I'm hearing it. So before we move forward, let me give you a couple of solutions. Number 1, you have to increase your income. If you just want to get by, that is a choice that you're making. And that choice affords you living in areas that you may not want to live in. Typically, people that are striving to do the minimum have certain characteristics. Birds of a feather flock together. When you expect someone to take care of everything for you, you got to start questioning yourself. That's a rough way to live your life. I look at the glass half full. There's a lot of opportunities out here, and you can be more productive and attract the income that you need to move out of said place. If you're someone who has a disability or something of that nature, there's programs. One of the most watch videos on my channel has to do with Section 8. And there too, I hear a lot and feel a lot of entitlement from people that are able-bodied and expect someone to subsidize your lifestyle for the rest of your life. But most folks have this attitude. I want this and you gonna give it to me. Well, it don't work like that. It does not work like that. And you know what? This is what I have found as a landlord, coming from where I come from and always wanting to help people because I come from less than. But just because you come from less than, you always have to have character. And your character shows through regardless of wherever you come from. So because of that, trying to help people, I have been burned so much so to where I understand the 3 times rent because I've had people lie to your face. They give you the sob stories, and had a couple stay in a house of ours for over a year squatting. And they went from woe is me to cussing like this young lady did, arrogant. That's why we look at credit reports and other tools that we have, because the numbers don't lie. They don't hide. They're concrete. They're not abstract. Okay. Emotions don't get involved. And I could just see, hey, you ain't been paying nobody, or your income is this. The rent is this. Car payment is this. You have to eat, live the whole nine. You can't afford this place. So some of you all are going to have to understand and realize what I had to understand and realize when I was younger and felt like the world was against me. No, as my mother-in-law said, most of my hardships were caused by me. I did it to myself. And once I got up, got out, and got something and repented of my evil ways, things started to change. I was able to live where I wanted to live, but the result of that, the reason I was able to do that is called WORK. And not just busy work, but being a blessing, being productive. So I might have went a little far, but that's how I feel about it. I may be wrong. I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comment section. So now, say you're really trying to get into a better place and your income may be limited. And maybe you just need a little bit to get over the hump. You may have to consider the following. Number one, you may have to stay at home or stay with your parents longer than you wanted to until you can afford to be out on your own. You could get a cosigner. Is your character good enough for someone in your family or someone that you know to co-sign on the lease to say, hey, when you don't pay, I'm going to pay? If you could verify that you have a lot of reserves, cash reserves, money in your account that you can touch when life happens. So if you don't have the income and say you have a lot of money, that may make a landlord feel comfortable because he or she or they know that you would be able to afford said property if your income doesn't meet the 3 times test that's required. Roommates. Can you find someone that you trust? Now it's on you, right? A lot of you guys don't want roommates because a lot of the folks that you run with are like you and they want somebody to subsidize their living. But if you could find a roommate that is like you and responsible, that might be a way to get over the hump that you need to have. There are some companies out nowadays that you would have to pay as the person leasing, but in essence, it's insurance to make the landlord comfortable with the fact that you don't meet all of the tests. And if you break the lease or if something goes wrong, they will be insured in making sure that they get their rent. There's guarantors out here, different companies. You guys can do your research. So those are some legitimate things that you can do to possibly get into a home that you might not financially meet the test for on paper. So as I end up, what I want to say is this. We got to stop looking at things as someone's against me. And I'm not making excuses because there are some evil forces out here that are legitimately behind the scenes preventing movement for certain people. I get it, right? But as I honestly look at my life and go back, the majority, 80%, 85% of the time, the problem was me. Once you're able to come to that realization, then you can move forward. If you're someone who has 3 times the rent where you've been renting and you're starting to realize, hey, you know what? I'm ready to own my own because, I'm tired of living next to people. I'm tired of dealing with the landlord. I want to be able to put my own flavor on the property that I'm in, or I'm just in that time of life. I'd like to have a conversation with you. I'm a lender. My NMLS license number is 180100, and my contact information is in the top pinned comment or in the description below. You'll be pleasantly surprised. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, guys, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. Watch these next 2 videos. They'll help you on your journey to home ownership. And for the rest of you, indeed, y'all stay blessed.